Welcome to Solo Parent Strength, Navigating with Resilience, the podcast that celebrates the incredible strength and resilience of single parents. Your host is Nanciekem, and she's honored to join you on this journey of empowerment. In each episode, we'll dive into uplifting stories, offer practical advice, and connect you with valuable resources to support you in your solo parenting journey. Together, we'll rewrite the narrative of solo parenting and forge a community built on strength and empowerment. Let's dive in.
Hello, my favorite listeners. How are you? Happy weekend. Today's topic is hot. Today I'm going to be talking about what we call authoritative parenting. What a great topic, right? So, what is authoritative parenting? Someone might ask. And if you have a quick answer, you can let me know if you're thinking towards what I'm thinking on. But authoritative parenting is a style of parenting that is characterized by a balance of having high expectations with strong emotional support and responsiveness. So in regards to this, what am I actually talking about? Here are some of the keys that you can look into as in relation to authoritative parenting. Having high expectation as a parent is a clear regard of you regarding your children's behaviors and achievements, pretty much. So these expectations are not just academically or discipline focused, but also pertaining to social interactions and personal responsibilities. Emotional support and responsiveness in regards to authoritative parenting is you as a parent enforcing the rules with little regard for the child's emotional needs. So as an authoritative parent, you're highly responsive to these needs. Okay, so when you are an authoritarian parent, you enforce rules with no regard of how your child feels emotionally. That is the difference between being an authoritative parent and being an authoritarian parent. Okay, so I'm talking about authoritative today, which you're actually enforcing these high expectations on your child and at the same time being highly responsive of their needs and their emotional needs. So being attentive to their needs, being caring, being supportive, encouraging an open communication and emotional expression is one of those things that you can do to be emotionally supportive to your children, as well as being someone who is a disciplinarian. Being consistent and fair with your discipline. Discipline in an authoritative parenting is consistent and reasoned out. You are not too harsh and you prefer consequences that fit the behavior, and always explain the reasoning behind the rules and the decisions that you make as a parent. Most of the time, I do encourage my child to tell me, what do you think is fit for this particular punishment? And sometimes you can give the punishment and explain to them why you're giving that punishment. So we are not really encouraged to really beat our children or what do they call it? Spank the children. But I tell you this, sometimes it's necessary. If it's too far gone, it's necessary. And I'm not telling you to spank your children, but hey, keep the cane away, spoil your child. The Bible says that, but not in a way of really taking it out of anger. It's you being able to balance out how you discipline your child, but do it with some love in it, do it with compassion, do it with all the care reasoned out, right? And don't ever punish your child, especially when you're angry. That is like you doing something that you're going to regret at the end of the day. Encourage Encouragement of independency. Being an authoritative parent encourages the children. You have that urge to encourage your child to be independent and to make their own decisions with reasonable boundaries. You mostly here you're often giving your child self-discipline and self-regulation in children. You teach them that. You teach them how to do things by themselves, how to make decisions. And before you answer what they're asking, ask them a question and then allow them to answer how they think something is gonna go. So in that way, both of you guys are making a decision together on how they want something to be done. So you're kind of guiding them and allowing them to start having that independency instead of you doing all the reasoning by yourself and telling them what to do all the time. um, Develop mutual respect. Mutual respect is a strong element where, as an authoritative parent, you respect your child's opinion, you respect their feelings, and you foster a sense of mutual respect. So the approach here helps build a strong parent-child relationship. Respect your child. This is an individual. This is a human being who thinks different than you do. So as much as yes, you're the authority, yes, your child too is an individual who has their own ways of doing things. And I wanted to dig deep into getting to understand the meaning of authority. So before I'm done giving the keys to being an authoritative parent, I'm going to also dig deep into what is authority and why authoritative, right? So balance the approach. Most of the time, authoritative parents, you have to strike a balance between being demanding and being responsive. Um, it kind of blends in and gives those rules with warmth and respect and understanding. You're balancing between giving orders and commands and also between responding to your child's emotional needs. So research has proven that children raised by authoritative parents tend to exhibit high self esteem, strong academic performance, good social skills, and low levels of depression and anxiety. So, when you balance out how you're raising your child, allows them to grow out there and become great citizens. This style is adaptable to a child's individual behavior or individual needs. You're not going to be using Nancy's ways of disciplining her children to Rachel's ways of disciplining her children. Everybody has their own way of disciplining their children, but in a way that is strictly for that particular child. So, not all fits all, right? So I went down into digging deep into what is an authority, because being an authoritative parent, you have the word authority in there. And what does the word authority really mean? Authority really means having power or the right to give orders, making decisions, and enforcing obedience. That is what the meaning of authority stands for. So your children have to know that you are the person who gives orders, you are the person who makes decisions, and also you are the person who enforces obedience. They have to know that. And I was so happy and incredibly pleased when I was listening to one of the parenting coach who was talking about the phases that are involved in raising a child or parenting. And I really, really liked this because I want to add this onto what we are talking about today. And those are the phases of parenting. And I really loved it. I'm going to share it here. You tell me what you think about it. The first phase of a parent is to discipline your child between the ages of 0 to 5. These are the primary goal. This is the primary goal of 0 to 5. You pretty much emphasize on disciplining your child and having your child to know some certain control and behaviors. So with this, you approach the discipline with training the kids to obey the rules or the codes that you have at home, not in a harsh way, but in a very kind, gentle way. Because between 0 and 5, of course, they will be able to know things starting from 2 to about 5. So from 0 to 2, you're pretty much working with them. But from that time in between, you're still disciplining that child and getting the child to know how you like things to be done. And I dug deep into wanting to know what is the meaning of discipline, because that's the first phase. What is the meaning of discipline? Discipline is generally a practice of training someone to obey rules or a code of behavior and and the enforcement of orderly behaviors. So here are some of the examples that I kind of thought about when it comes to discipline. Training and control, right? You train your child to know who they are, and you're the one who's responsible to tell them what to do. Um, Punishment, how you punish your child, especially when they're doing certain things. How are you putting that in there? What are you trying to guide them to do? From 0 to 5, that is the stage that deals with training, deals with disciplining, right? The disciplining, as I said, is training someone to obey rules. So those are the rules you set as a parent, what a child can do and what a child cannot do in your home. And every child is different, right? So that's the first phase. The second phase of parenting a child between 6 years old to 12 years old is training. That's when you do the training part. In this stage, the role of a parent is to shift from teaching to the hows and why of the behaviors. So this is the time when children learn to act and think morally. So they know the mistakes, they know when they're wrong, they know when they're right. At this stage between 6 and 12, this is where you're training. The parents idea of behavior here is you want to see what your children are coming up with, and then now you train them on how to do it either better or how to do it in a different way. So teaching here should be both practical life lessons and moral guidance. Most of the time when I want to go to moral guidance, I go to my Bible, because the Bible has more of the moral guidance that teaches children in a way that they should go. So in this part of moral guidance, I added a Deuteronomy 6:7 in there that suggests a parent should diligently teach their children, setting an example in their daily lives. Guys, have you realized that a child learns more from what you do than what you tell them to do? That is something that is very funny, because children will follow what you do. So when you are giving them these rules and regulations, you ought to be following those rules and regulations yourself, especially if you're telling them, hey, wash your hands when you're done taking a shower, when you're done with the bathroom, or sleep at this particular time, or when you're angry, you need to sit down and take breathing exercises. There are so many ways that you can discipline your child, and I have multiple examples that I came up with that also talk about how you can discipline your child. Respect others. That's one of the ways you can discipline your child and train your child. Example, if another person is talking to you, you have to be quiet so you can hear what they're saying, and then you'll be able to respond in a calm way. Listen when someone is speaking. You have to always listen. If it's dinner time, you have to sit a certain way, you have to do things a certain way. Follow safety rules. If you're crossing the road, this is what you're supposed to do. Look right, look left, and then you look right again, and then you cross. Share, take turns, tell the truth, keep your hands to yourself, especially in school and they're having issues and fighting and all that little stuff. Teach your children little disciplinary things and train them on what they ought to do. Clean up after yourself. After you're done playing with your toys, clean up after yourself. Use manners, say please, say thank you. Reinforce these things and then do them yourself so they see you doing it. Follow house rules. Hey, the time we wake up, you do your homework, you read your book, you do this. And if you break the rules, remember, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to have this, you're going to be on timeout. Stuff like that. How to manage your emotions. You teach your child how to manage their own tantrums, how you wait for them to stay calm, and then you discuss with them on ways that they can be able to explore and learn about their emotions and how to control their emotions. So these are the things you train your child between 6 and 12. And then another stage that I learned from this coach was phase 3, which was between the ages of 13 and 18. Now you're dealing with adolescents, you're dealing with teenagers. Here now your job as a parent is to transition into a coach. When you become a coach, your job is to hear somebody out, and then you help on. Mostly you focus on guiding your adolescents as they navigate the game of life. Like, you're just guiding them. You're not fully telling them what to do, but you just as a parent, you offer support, you encourage them, and you course correct. Whenever you see them going astray, you kind of bring them back to the line and tell them what to do at certain times. And here in this stage, you're beginning to trust your child to be able to make their own decisions and allow them to learn from both sides, both success and both in failures, because that's the time when they are getting to know themselves. So I really liked this phases, because it kind of really broke it down for us as parents to kind of know what we need to do at certain times of our children's growth. And between 19 and moving forward is a phase called post adolescence, where now a parent turns into, you want to be a parent at the same time you want to be a friend. So this stage here, you develop friendship. You wanna talk to your children. You wanna get to hear them out. You wanna hear how they're progressing in life. You wanna be able to navigate them through those stages and allow them to have boundaries. You tighten your boundaries in this stage and give them away. Give them more of the freedom and more of a mutual respect on this particular stage. Parents and children share more. Like, here you can share more, confident, like confidential situations. Here you can talk about things more openly. They can talk about their relationships if they have any. They are open to discuss opinions and thoughts and stuff like that openly. I really liked this training because it kind of gave me that, oh, okay, I kind of got this. Sometimes parenting is not easy, especially if you've never been inside it. When you're a new parent and you've never really done anything to do with parenting, it's like you just got thrown into an ocean of water and you're being told to swim, and you've never been to any swimming class before. So that's the same thing with parenting. Parenting feels like you just been thrown into an ocean and you are being told to figure it out. But now, learning from other people who have been parents and listening to the coaches and listening to parenting guidelines, it kind of gives us a little pathway on how we can handle ourselves as parents. And I really love that, because I really wanted to share this with you guys, so you guys can see if this adds value to you as a parent. So the first segment I also wanted to add on here is the rise of authoritative parent in 2023, and the difference between an authoritative parent and an authoritarian parent. So An authoritative parent, as I said, is a parent who is more having a balance. You strike a balance. And an authoritarian is a parent who enforces rules, and then it doesn't take any regards to the child's needs and so emotional needs, which is something we really need to take into consideration, because your children will start having anxieties and depressions if you're over excessively harsh. You don't give room for a child to even talk to you and relate with you. um, so welcome on board. Like, I'm excited as we explore this topic of authoritative parenting and the styles that um, are here that we can all use. I'm really excited about this topic, and I'm not going to talk about a lot of things here. I'm going to go to the part 2, where I'm going to be putting in the spiritual way of parenting as it is in the Bible, and explore on that as well, because we have the earthly way of taking care of children, and there is a certain way that God wants us to take care of children also in the Bible. And I'm going to be quoting a couple of scriptures, and then we dig deep into that. But I want to be able to say this. Let us, all of us, learn to be able to create an environment where our children feel valued and respected, um, while also understanding the importance of roles and responsibilities. Children need structure and they need guidance. But because we are the authority over their lives, we shouldn't take that as, how can I put it in a nicer way, right? We shouldn't take that as a way of oppressing our children, because I have seen a lot of situations where us as parents, we take too much power and control over our children, that we tend to become the worst nightmare of the children. Instead of the children feeling safe with you, now they feel like you're a nightmare. That's how some of us grew up, and we thought that was parenting. But as we keep learning and knowing and trying to really kind of like have a broad spectrum of what it is to be a parent, we are learning a lot of things in our age and era, that now we are able to know how to easily maneuver parenting, so that by the time these children are grown, we still have this relationship, child parent relationship, that is super super strong, and the bond is great, that your child can call you about anything and everything, and you're able to guide them through as a parent. I would love my child to tell me anything and feel safe to tell me anything, because that's the reason why I am there as a parent. I'm not there to judge. I'm not there to point fingers, but I'm there to guide, and I'm there to show them that this is how you're supposed to grow. This is how things are done, and this is how the advantages and disadvantages of every choice that they make. I want to be able to give them the consequences and the pros of certain things. And I want my children to come to me as a mother. I want my children to always rely on my guidance, and by so doing, I want to be able to give them that open ground to be able to communicate to me effectively and openly, just because I decided to be an authoritative parent. Those two words, right? Those two words are super close. But yeah, so I hope you guys learned something from this, and I cannot wait to share with you guys on authoritative parenting as in the Bible, what the Bible says about parenting. And I cannot wait to see you guys for part 2. So stay tuned, and I love you guys. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Solo Parenting Strength. Remember, you are never alone in this journey. If today's episode resonated with you, please consider sharing it with other single parents who might find solace in our supportive community. Remember to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback enables us to reach more single parents who may need this beacon of strength. Until next time, always remember, the strength you seek resides within you. Take care and keep thriving. Solo Parent Strength, Navigating with Resilience is produced by Single Parents Revival. For additional resources and community support, visit our website at www.singleparentsrevival.com. We're grateful to have you as part of our empowering community. Thank you for being here.